Hey everyone, this is Wally Yousif. Today I'm going to show you how a great deal could turn into a bad deal. Watch this. I made a video last time about a property we acquired in Far Texas, so today I'm going to go over the specific numbers for that acquisition. So the property, it's in Far Texas, it's cash deal because it needs a lot of work. And the ARV, so after we fix that property, bring it to current standard, would be worth about between 90 to 100,000. It's a small home, so it's about 800 square feet, 2 bedroom, 1 bath, and the property needs basically full rehab. And the time that was during January of 22. Now, the acquisition for that property to buy it from the seller, it was, we agreed on a 20,000 for that property. Now, at that time, when we estimated the repair, it would be about a 20,000 as well. Now, as I said here, the ARV on this one would be anywhere between 90 to 100, so that was a quite good deal. And we counted for closing about 10% because we have to pay for the closing with the seller and then pay again when we resell it after we fix it up. Now, the holding cost for this one with our private money lender, it was going to be about 10,000 for that property, and it would take about like 6 months to finish with this project. Now we'll go over the projection profit. So we have the ARV, as I said, and we'll just keep it at 90. The repair we had it for 20. Closing cost for this one we had it at 10,000, and the holding also 10,000 for it. And for the acquisition, as I said, it was 20,000. So the projected profit for this one, it would be about 30,000. So that was the deal that it was on the numbers in January 22. It was a good number, so we decided to move forward with this deal. Now, unfortunately, we faced a couple challenges for this property. Now, first we knew that the property, it's a probate property, which basically the owner had passed away. They had a will, however, the will was expired because they did not probate it within the first 40 years. And there were basically missing family members within that family who could be beneficiaries to that property. So some of them were still alive and some of them were dead. So the title company did not want to move forward with this file, so they decided to cancel on this file, and we had to find another title company that they understand the probate better. So we closed with that title company and reopened with another title company. And unfortunately, in that time, it took us about like 3 months, which now we were in kind of between May to June of 2022. Now, once we solved the title situation, we faced another bigger challenge, which at this time we were now in June to July, where the market has shifted and the interest rate went up. So now we had to because it's been about like 6 months, so we had to redo our numbers to see where we are. So after redoing, getting more quotes for the repairs, quote for the holding costs and all that, we now have new numbers because it took about like 6 months for that. So now when we did the numbers, it's completely, so basically the acquisition stayed the same. So we were still at 20,000 for this one. Now the repair, because of supply chain issues, so that repair went up to about 30,000. Now, because the market has dropped, the ARV actually, the market dropped between 10 to 15%. So now the ARV, now remember, the ARV here was between 90 to 100. Here, we were looking at 75 to 85. Closing was still the same, about the same numbers. And the holding cost, again, because of the interest rate, it went up from 10 to 15,000. Now, if we do our numbers for now to see what's our projected profit, so now if we say, okay, so the ARV is 75 up here, the acquisition is 20, the repair we said it went up, and the closing is the same, 10,000. The holding cost went up, and now it's 15. Now, if you do the numbers for this property, now we are at projected profit of $0. That's how we were from 30,000 to 0 within literally 6 months in the same deal, in the same market, in the same year. So after we did the number, after the market shift in July, we decided not to move forward with the flip. We canceled that exit strategy because at best case scenario, we will end up with $0 profit. At worst case scenario, if the market continues shift, now we could end up with negative number. So we decided to pass on flipping that property. Now we looked also into renting that property to see if there is a cash flow that we can use from that property until the market come back. So we did the numbers, and that's what we come up with. So same acquisition, now still 20,000 repairs of the property, still the same, about 30,000 holding, we're about 15,000 closing, that was 10,000. Now to rent that property at best case scenario, we would be anywhere between 650 to 700 in that area. And during the time, we would have to pay the hard money loan, basically anywhere between about 2,000 to 2,500. And after we refinance, at current rate was 7%, our payment would be about 750. So even with the rent, and there is no Airbnb opportunity on this one. So once we look on the numbers for the rent, it does not look a deal as a rent. So we pass on renting that property as well. So at this point, we can't flip that property. Numbers don't work, and also we can't rent that property because numbers don't work as well. Now, after doing the numbers for the flip and for the rent, we saw that both of them won't work with the market shift in July. So we decided to see if we can push the property and just sell it in as-is condition to other investors who could have a better numbers or could have better lending opportunities than what we had to us. So we sent it, and we got an offer from other investors that we know for 33,000 in as-is condition. So we took that offer. Now obviously we had to pay expense some requests that they requested, so we give them a credit for that, and we end up with 29,000 for that property. Obviously we did the acquisition, which was 20,000, so we net on this property 9,000. Now, we were grateful for that because that's true that we missed the opportunity on 30,000, but we also had to remember that if we flip it, we would end up with zero. If we rented, the numbers don't work. So we were still grateful that we end up with positive number for that property. Now, obviously, this it happened in October, so it took about 9 months for that deal to close because of probate, because of the market shift, and because of all, as you saw on the numbers. After going through this deal, the main lesson that I have learned is that when acquiring properties, I have to account for multiple exit strategies because as we saw that the property would not work if we flip it, would not work if we rent it. However, because we had acquired it in good price, we were able to sell it in as-is condition. So had we only had one exit strategy to only flip it, we would possibly break even or we would lose money. Or if we would rent it, then we would have to hold our money on the property until the market shifts back again. But because we had purchased that property with multiple exit strategy, we were able to sell that property in as-is condition and we would still be in the positive number. So that was the numbers for the property in Fort Texas. Thank you. This is Wally Yousif.